And hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cyrus Webb Presents. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us for today's broadcast. So excited to welcome back my friend Tina Siemens to our broadcast today. You guys know her as the author of two books already, those being Seminole, Some People Never Give Up. You guys see it there. As well as The Little Sandals That Could. She does have more books to come, but she also is working on some other great projects as well. And we thought it really appropriate as we're wrapping up Women's History Month to be able to talk to Tina not only about her own history and what it's been like for her to share that, but also the history she's able to share with the world through a new project she's doing, which is a museum. Tina, thank you again for the time. Really do appreciate you.
Well, thank you for having me on. It's absolutely a pleasure every time. It's like I've got something exciting to do when I have you on my schedule. So thanks for having me.
Glad to do it, Tina. So, Tina, this is an appropriate time as it's hard to believe we're saying goodbye to March
I know.
already.
Unbelievable.
But you have been very busy this year, not only, of course, sharing the message of your books, and they are available, of course, here on Amazon. So we do want to invite our audience. Make sure you guys do click on the books I showed you guys here. We'll be talking more about them throughout the broadcast. But Tina, as I mentioned, another great project you're a part of is this museum. So I want to talk about that for you. What has it been like for you to think about your own place in history, Tina, and what you've been able to share with the rest of us?
Well, it is super exciting. I finally last week found out that the name is official. So it is going to be called West Texas Living Heritage Museum. And the reason I have the word living in it is because I don't want to just have it looking in the past. I want to look into the past, apply what what we can learn and have learned from the past to today, preparing for the future. And so I want it to be very interactive with different classes that I'll give on teaching how to teaching how to quilt, like have different people come in and do lots of different things that our ancestors did and resurrect those to where the younger generation who have the interest, pick up those talents and the absolutely amazing things that we can look back on and apply to today. So I'm excited about the project.
Yeah, Tina, we're gonna get to the books here, but I love that you shared that with our audience about the title, the name of the museum, and I love the fact again that living is in there too, because I think part of the problem is, and my generation is probably part of that problem, is that we don't realize that history is a living, breathing thing. It's not just something in the past. It really is a part of what is making us who we are today.
Absolutely.
And what so many people are using as they move forward in their lives. How important has that been for you? I know you shared your own history, so you know the importance of history in sharing in the book like Seminole, but how important has it been for you, Tina, to show other people that their history is something that also is living?
Well, it is very important because in every one of us has DNA that comes back from the beginning of life and existence. The creation of each one of us did not just happen when you and I were born. It was handed down to us. So we are living proof that history happened. And so I think it's so important for me to give to the next generation and the current generation to appreciate where they've come from and to not just keep it in, but share that with the world. And your world might be just your two neighbors or four neighbors across the street, but share what you have and pass it on so that that can continue living.
One of the things that you share in the book, Seminole in particular, Some People Never Give Up, Tina, is that your family was not afraid of the work. I do feel like, and I'm someone who works, that's just, I grew up seeing that with my parents and people in my family, the importance of hard work, the value of hard work, the satisfaction that comes from hard work. How much has that influenced you in what you're doing today?
Well, hard work is it's not just required of us. we're supposed to work 6 days. The 10 Commandments say that 6 days you shall work, and then the seventh day you shall rest. So we are required to work. And so for us to be able to pass down work ethics to our children and our grandchildren is how we are going to make things happen in the future. Because if we don't have work ethics, being a couch potato will not get the job done. So getting up and having a goal, short-term goal, long-term goals to work toward is what will drive us to do the actual physical work that is required to continue giving what we have been given.
We're able to meet different individuals in your family through the book. And I've never actually talked to you about this before, but I thought it was appropriate. And Tina, as we're having our conversation today, there are some of the individuals in your family, and it's hard to, I don't want to call them characters because these are family members.
Yeah.
They're in the book and we're reading it, but these are someone that is very powerful to you. Rose and David. I want to talk about those two individuals in your family, because what I thought was so interesting was, as I was prepping for today's show with you, is that every day people will look at you, Tina, and think it was very easy for you to have an optimistic view because things are going well for you in life. Things did not go well for Rose all the time. Things did not go well for David all the time.
No.
How much did you learn from that, making the best even of challenging situations, Tina?
Well, let's go to my father, David, first. Yesterday, we celebrated 46th anniversary of coming to America.
Wow.
And so I had my dad over for lunch, and I asked him, looking back over the 46 years that we've now lived in Texas, what is your comment? And he had one statement: no regret. And so that is, even though those hard times come, but living with no regret, that's living with a purpose. And I think that is where I draw my strengths from, is knowing the difficult times that we've had through the past 46 years and still persevered, and not only survived, but we thrived. And that is because the sheer will to make it forward, to make something of ourselves that would produce the dream to pass on to his children, me. And now me passing on to my children and grandchildren. So I think the characters in our life, the family members that lived before us, they have such amount of wealth of information. If we would only take the time to go and sit with them and listen to their stories and glean from those stories, how can we apply what they've lived through to today? Every day there's lessons to be learned from what has been lived in the past.
Yeah. And Tina, you've been able to give you a lot of credit. And I've been so fortunate to watch you firsthand, how you have embraced social media, how you embraced this technology.
Oh, my laptop, that has been a challenge.
But that's the whole point I was going to make, Tina. Even with the challenges, that is not, some people do not give up, right?
Yeah.
And so I want to talk about that, because you've done something this month that I've never seen you do before.
Yeah.
And that is to get on camera and to actually share this story, share this history. So now you're creating this living record. I want to talk about the decision to do that. How'd you make the decision that you wanted to get on camera and share from your story the way you've been doing this year?
Well, you are the inspiration for that. And March is a very special month for us, because that signified, after many tries of different migrations to South America, to Canada, and they all failed. And then now, finally in March, we achieved the dream of coming to America in 1977. So for me to share that, I thought, let's build up throughout the month of March. Let's do several reels. And in March, I found out what a reel was. So I've been doing reels, and I've just been blown away about how many views the reels
Mm-hmm.
themselves have gotten. So I started off with sharing my first reel in the month of March, or was it end of February, where you promoted the little sandals that could. And that reel got over 200 views within a few days. And I thought, that's a new way of doing things. So I looked into how can I recreate that and build up to where yesterday was our 46th anniversary. So it has been good for me, but oh, Cyrus, and to all of you who are listening, they're re-recording. There was days where I would record these little 1-minute clips, and I would have to do 15 tries before I was even happy to put it on social media. So the not giving up is a daily choice that I make to persevere and to just keep going. And learning new things broadens our horizon to have not just the shield by our eyes, but to have a wider view of what the world really can offer and how we can participate in that.
Such a great point. I want to say for those who are just tuning in, you all are watching Cyrus Webb Presents here on Amazon Live, but we also want to recognize tuning in on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and Twitter. Thank you all so much. We have Tina tagged on Facebook and Twitter for you guys. Make sure you guys are staying connected with her there. We're talking with her about her book, Seminole. Some People Never Give Up. You all can see it there, as well as this book, which allows us to be able to see a young Tina in the little sandals that could. So let's talk about this one because I think it goes to what we were saying earlier about your newest project, Tina, and that being the museum, because I keep going back to showing this because I'm so excited that you decided to let us see a bit of your family. You're able to kind of give us a snapshot into, oh, that shows up pretty good there, of your family, family there. I want to talk about your why, Tina, because the work that you're doing, it's very obvious that this is so much bigger than you. How much do these people that we see in these photos, how much do they inspire you in the work that you're doing now?
That is an inspiration that as I open up my eyes, these people are in my thoughts the very first time. Sending up a prayer for those precious grandchildren as they are embracing another day out in the world that can be cruel, that is scary sometimes for little ones. But they are exactly the age that I was when we moved to America. So I know personally what the difficult things that a young child has to go through in order to maneuver through the world of being a small fish in a big ocean of many other fish around you. So, so they inspire me, and that keeps me going because I really do want to have them see what is possible by looking back at their mom and dad, at their grandparents, and hopefully inspire them to continue the work that I'm going to start and have done in the past years.
Yeah. There's something else, and this is a conversation, the first for us, Tina, because we have not talked about this next thing either from your book, The Little Sandals That Could. And that was something that happened all because of a photograph in a newspaper. And before I read the account from the book, I want to talk about, we all have heard the saying, well, I know I grew up hearing a picture is worth 1,000 words. And I think for so many people, I think we realize that even though we don't subconsciously think about it, how a picture is such a powerful thing. I want to talk about for yourself, especially when it comes to the Mennonite culture and community. What has it been like for you to be able to show, as you did in the book with your parents and that photo in the newspaper, how you were able to feel seen and people were able to understand the importance of you, that you matter?
Well, it is truly, there have been so many moments in my life, just like that photo in the newspaper, where that was a capture that could have so easily gone unnoticed or not being captured in the first place at all. But in the corner that each one of us are, we've been given a platform to live. That's why we live. There's been a purpose for us being born. So for me to be able to see a captured image of me and me thinking back, who took that photo? What was their lives like? But why did they take that photo? And why does it matter? It tells me that the existence of Tina Siemens is important. And for me to exist is to live and pay it forward. And that is what every photo, because the Mennonite culture, especially the migration from Canada to Old Mexico in 1922, cameras were forbidden. So an image now is even more valued. Yesterday, I got out my grandma's photo album that I never knew she had because the images were so forbidden. But these were images that were taken in Ukraine, in the Mennonite culture. And so they had allowed cameras there. They went to studios and had professional pictures done. But she, as a grandma, never showed it. Even my dad did not know that photo album existed.
Wow.
Because it was so forbidden to have photos. And so for me, a photo is truly 1,000 words because it's so valuable. And I'm so grateful that we have been able to capture some of the living moments in our life the past 46 years since camera were allowed.
So, Tina, does that also feed into why this museum, to go back to the museum, how we started the conversation, why the museum is so important for you to make sure that that history is not lost?
Exactly. It is so important because there is files and boxes of people that don't have the interest of the history. They don't think about the importance of what it is. So even if you're not somebody that's interested in history, take a few moments to preserve that which could be a treasure trove for somebody in the future that would enjoy the history. So for us to make a archive, even if it's in a shoebox inside of a safe room or away from where it could get damaged, put some of those memories aside for somebody in the future that would just absolutely be speechless to find a box full of things that meant something and that connected them to their past.
We have a hello to you, Tina, from Tamika. Hello to you, Tamika. Good to be able to see you. She's joining us over there on Facebook. Appreciate you watching us, Tina. And I want to talk to you about something else. And this is important for me to mention to you, and I want our audience to hear this. Another thing that I've noticed about you is the importance for you in speaking up. I think that comes through in the book, The Little Sandals That Could. When people in your community were not being treated fairly, and I think it was your dad who said, "What can we do?" And you said, "We can pray. That's what helped me find my sandals."
Yeah.
Speaking up for yourself is not always easy. I've seen you do it even the past couple of years where you feel like you need to take a stand. Talk to us about that. What would you say to our audience about the importance of letting their voice be heard and not being afraid to speak up, as you and your family and others have been able to do?
Well, it takes a lot of courage because sometimes the last thing that you want, if you've been hurt physically or mentally, the last thing that you want is to stand up and be seen. And I think there is more shy people or withdrawn people, characters than there are bolder people. So for you to stand up for yourself and to stand up for the right, it takes a lot of courage. But practice makes perfect. You may do it in small baby step increments, but I encourage you, the more you do it, the bolder you will become. And if we stand up for the truth will set us free. So for us to just even do small little things like And if you don't want to do it verbally, then do it through an email or a handwritten note. Just make a stand and say, I matter and my voice matters, because everyone has something positive within them. It may be covered with shame or regret, but for each one of us to unearth that and do small increments, it will embolden you, and your voice matters.
Such a great point, and such a great reminder for all of our audience out there. Again, everyone, Tina Siemens has been our guest. She's the author of 2 books you guys can find here on Amazon. Her first is called Seminole, Some People Never Give Up. You all can see it there. As well as her second book, I'm going to highlight it for you guys on the carousel here, The Little Sandals That Could. Both of them are available in paperback as well as in Kindle as well. You all can get it there. And Seminole, I noticed too here on Amazon. I'm looking at it on the Amazon page. Seminole's also an audiobook. Is that right, Tina?
Both of them are audiobooks.
Both of them are audiobooks.
Both are audiobooks,
yeah.
Yes.
So you all can be able to get the audiobooks as well. Tina, it is always a pleasure to be able to talk with you. I'm always, I'm so proud of you and what you've been able to do. And I'm excited about the museum. And you have my promise that I will be coming to visit the museum.
That will be awesome. Well, I will. The invite is extended to you personally. June 16th and 17th is the opening date. So I would absolutely be honored to have you come.
Love that. Love that. So Tina, how can our audience stay connected with you?
Well, email me on social media, on Twitter, Instagram. My email address is seminolethebook@gmail.com. And that's also the way you can get in contact with me on all social media platforms. So Seminole the Book.
All right. Well, Tina, congratulations to you again. Really appreciate the time. And looking forward to our next conversation together.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Blessings.
Right. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Cyrus Webb Presents. If you guys are joining us on the Amazon Live side, make sure you guys do get Tina's books. Both of them are available in paperback, Kindle, and audiobook, so you can take advantage of that. And also make sure you guys give us a follow here on Amazon Live, where you can stay connected with all of our programming here 6 days a week by hitting that follow button either here in this corner or down below. Until next time, I'm Cyrus Webb saying thank you so much for watching. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.